In today's episode with Doc, we're going to talk about success. Success with our compost pile, success with the new nesting boxes, and success with planting clover for this winter plant. Dude, wouldn't it be annoying if I talked like that all the time? I lost my camera and I just found it. I left it in the garden. Here we go. We're going to make a video. Okay, so this video has completely changed. I didn't know what the video was going to be about, but the past couple days have been frustrating. And I just things keep breaking. I'm having to repair. But today is about success. It's about success. So in yesterday's video, I told you guys I was going to put up another set of nesting boxes, and I put it lower. I didn't have much faith that the chickens would go in there and lay eggs. Day number one, they lay eggs in there. Next success, compost. In yesterday's video, I showed you guys this new liquid product we're developing with Anderson's. Not only does it have nutrients, but it has good microbes and mycorrhizal fungi spores in it. This is was a dry pile of wood chips with chicken poo in it from the chicken house that I took out. And it's been sitting here for a week. Dusty, dry, just sitting there, nothing happening. So yesterday I came out and it does have dirt booster in it, by the way. Last week I put dirt booster in it. But yesterday I came out and sprayed it with this new spray that we're developing with Anderson's and piled it up. And this morning, almost 100 degrees overnight, 100 degrees. And we're talking about end of January. This stuff is going to be amazing. The problem with wood chips, if you put them into your soil, they will steal nutrients to go through the decomposition process. Putting them on top of soil is fine. Put them on, it's great, no problem. But if you bury them in like a compost into your soil, they can rob nutrients. Well, what this does is that kind of reverses that process. We're loading up these wood chips with chicken manure and with the nutrients and letting it actually start to decompose. So it's loaded up. If I want to, for this garden coming up, I'll be able to take this compost pile, and actually put it directly into my soil if I wanted to. I'll probably just top dress because we really don't till out here anymore. What else is going on? So it's rain all day today, and then we have a complete shift in temperatures. We have been dealing with snow and ice, 2 storms, temperatures down to 12 degrees. And look at my 10-day forecast. We have rain today, and then for the next 10 days, we're hot and warm. I mean, one day next week is going to be 72 degrees for a high. So I can do some. I'm actually kind of excited because I can do some stuff. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to throw a little bit of crimson clover seed out here. I think it'll germinate and take. And I think on my upper field, I think I'll throw some crimson clover seed up there too. Man, I'm just pumped, man. If you're going to work with compost piles, get one of these. This is a Weber grill. And they're like, what? I forget, like 10, 20 bucks. I've got these all over the place. But it's a great way. You need to monitor. One way you monitor whether your compost pile is actually alive and composting is by the temperature. And usually the problem with compost piles, especially in the late winter, early spring, is getting them started because the temperature is just too cold for that good microbe activity to happen. Let me take let's take a little probe and open this up. So the first reading I'm going to take is going to be sort of the outside of the pile. And it is 54 degrees Fahrenheit, 55 degrees. So now let's go inside. Wow, look at that. 90 degrees. Oh, that makes me happy. Look at that, 90 degrees. $96 degrees. Wow, that is awesome. That is just awesome. Now I'm even more happy. I got eggs in my new nesting boxes, and this is pine chips, large pine chips from Tractor Supply with about a month worth of chicken poo on it. Then I took dirt booster and I mixed in dirt booster on this. And then yesterday I came out and I used some of that new spray that we're talking about. I think it's going to be called Lawn Alive, just because that's what the whole point of it is, to make your soil come alive. But you can use it in vegetable gardens, you can use it in compost piles, and you can use it on your lawn. So it's kind of a multi-tier spray. You can put dirt booster out, which has the mycorrhizal fungi in it already, and then spray that on top of it, especially if you have a lot of like wood products in your compost. Man, that makes me really, really happy. I'm at 100 degrees. Here we are, January 20 something. This past week it's been in the teens. And I take a pile and I spray that stuff, and boom, overnight it's active. It's 100 degrees. That is awesome. I need to cut this open, dude. I'm just excited. I've never had a compost pile do this that quickly in this cold of a temperature. Can you see it? That is awesome, dude. That is totally awesome. I'm so happy. Oh, that makes me, you don't know how happy that makes me. Sorry girls, I'm not going to do too much with you today. I'm just going to let you out. Go get your treats. It's wet out here. So the two new girls are over here. They're surviving. They just like to be outside, man. Look at them. They're not even over here eating the worms. They're just out there digging. Man, they make a mess. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at the new nesting box. Look at that. There are eggs. So one of those is a fake. That's new. Oh, man. I am so happy. Man, I am so happy I saw that. I've got eggs in all these. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Are you in there working? Man, I am so happy. Here comes UPS using the back gate. It's nice having a full circle. He comes in the front and goes out the back. You don't know how happy I am. I am so happy that two chickens decided to use that lower box. This was getting overcrowded. I would have 6 birds in here almost the first 3 or 4 hours, and I have other birds standing around, so that makes me really happy. I am really happy. Success. Egg success. You're a good mama. You're a good mama. All the other birds are out there eating, and you're taking care of your little baby eggs, aren't you? Oh, you're up on your bars? You're on your new playground. Isn't that cool? Huh? Isn't that fun? Yeah, that's fun. Oh, we like to walk on that. Look at that. Chickens are funny, man. They're just funny. So I have this weird idea. I don't think this will come to fruition, but I have this space down over here that's never used in my garden. And I had this thought, I don't want to get more chickens. I got plenty of chickens. I get 2 dozen eggs a day. But the raccoon population has decimated the turkey population on my property over the past couple years. So we're taking care of raccoons. What are we up to? 150 raccoons that we've killed back over there. And but I'm thinking about, what if I were to get some, buy some turkeys and actually put in a little area here. Now, is it legal for me to buy a wild breed of turkey, raise it, and then release it? I don't know. I got to look at that. But that's one thing I'd like to do. I'd like to be able to release turkeys back onto this property and reestablish that population. Not raise them, but keep them here till they get to the age where I can just let them go. That would be so cool, dude. Is just keep pumping out turkeys here, pumping out turkeys, and bring back this turkey population to this area. I'll have to look that up and see if that's legal. I don't know if it is or not. But I guess if I put them out in my garden and they happen to fly over my fence, hey, write the turkey a ticket, not me. He escaped. Guess I could do that too. All right, so this is my upper field up over here. This is my upper field, and we've struggled with this field forever, but man, look at the deer have just shaved this down. All the turnips, all the rye, everything in here, just shave it down like a lawn. Then I have my middle field and I have my lower field, and these are all planted for the wildlife. That's it. Now, I have a plan for this spring. I'm going to be doing a special irrigation system on my main garden because we have that underground system from the pond that pumps up here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround my garden with these large sprinkler heads versus doing a drip irrigation. I was not happy with my drip irrigation system last year. It just didn't work out well for me. So I think what I'm going to do is I can run 4 of those big heads on that garden for about 45 minutes 3 times a week if I need to. It'd be awesome. But up here on these 3 fields, I'm thinking about every 7 feet, every 6 feet or so, what I'm thinking about doing is stripping in corn every 6 feet on all these fields, 5 to 6 feet. And in between there, I'm going to plant clover. And what I'll end up having is I'll have corn in each one of these fields with clover growing in between. And it'll allow me, and the reason why I'm doing 6 feet is it'll allow me to drive that in between the rows and actually cut if I need to go in there and cut. And that was my problem. I need to get in between and cut any weeds or whatever. But man, could you imagine having this whole area, all this in corn, and then in between the corn, patches of clover, crimson and white clover? It's going to be awesome. But what I want to do right now while it's wet and raining, I want to go ahead and throw out some of this crimson clover seed real quick. So it's funny, crimson clover seed is larger than white clover. It's almost twice the size, if not 3 times the size. Just in case you didn't know that. The regular clover seed is dark usually, and it's very, very tiny. Crimson is a little bit larger, but I'm just going to walk and put some on here real quick. All right, so I was able to see that whole upper field. This middle field over here is okay, there's lots of green. This is mostly turnips, but you can see strips. Maybe you can see the strips where I went through here real heavy and put down cereal rye. So I got green cereal rye, but most of my turnip and radish is kind of like dying off from these cold temperatures. So change in plan, I'm going to put a light coat on the garden of this, and then I'm going to put the rest of it on that field, and then I'm going to sneak back to that little open spot I got deep in the woods and plant some clover, because it's all dirt and I do not want to see dirt on this property. That's one of my rules. So one of the rules that so many farms, regenerative farms and new age farms, even strip till farms operations, basically you never want to have bare soil. So the mistake that people make is they go out and they have a garden and they till up the whole garden and they got this big brown patch of dirt. And essentially what you're doing is basically you're just killing your soil biology. So I want you to look at my garden. This is January. This is January, and you can see cereal rye, you can see turnips, you can see radish, you can see clover. And this is the strip right here. These strips are where we plant, and we cover that over with wood chips and manure. But that's it. You want to keep, this is what you want your garden to look like 365 days a year. You want basically the whole thing to be green and alive. And then if you want to, what I recommend is if you have crappy clay soil, is just till those rows and put dirt booster and compost in those rows, maybe for 2 seasons. After that, you won't have to do anything else. Now the dirt booster, you can also add humichar, but the dirt booster has biochar in it. But if you really want to pump up your biochar level, add humichar when you do it too. Put it down heavy. Biochar never goes away. It's a 200-year product. So once you put it in the ground, it's going to stay there. But after that, you can just top dress. But I want to put down a little bit more clover in here just because it's been so cold. And so let me get this done. So I've done the top field, I've done strips in that middle field, and now I'm gonna do the garden. Then I'm gonna go do that hot spot back in the woods over there that's all dirt. So apparently I left my camera somewhere or it fell out. So anyways, this is an area we call the bald spot, and it is surrounded by thick areas and leads down to one of our stands, but this was just here. So we keep trying to get this to grow, and I'm going to come out here and I'm going to put down some clover seed, and I'm going to take the UTV and I'm just going to four-wheel it through here and sort of punch it all into the ground. We'll see what happens. I don't know where the hell my camera went to. Hold on, here we go. I better hold my phone. I lost the camera and I don't want to lose the phone. Sharp and fast, it sort of tears up this muddy ground and it pushes that seed in. So if you ever have a spot and you don't want to till it or anything, just put some clover seed down and have some fun, do some rednecking. This whole area is now, all this clover seed is pushed in. It only takes about 5 minutes on a spot like this. But once you get to an area, cut your wheel sharp, it'll just tear up that ground, push it all in. When it's wet, when it's muddy. It's kind of fun actually. So what I'm doing is I'm just riding in circles, really sharp wheel cutting here. And what it does is it tears up this ground and pushes all that seed in here. So I've just been riding in circles for about 5 minutes. And man, it just has all that seed pushed in. It's a real kind of a sneaky way to do it, but rather than it just sitting on top of the ground, now it's all pushed in back here. Why is it that some rainy days just feel colder than cold, snowy days? I'm chilled to the bone today. I'm gonna get some firewood after I get done with this and go light up my wood stove. Hello, girls. So I'm gonna go get eggs out of these boxes, but I gotta distract them with some kind of food or treats or something. There's 3 eggs in the new box, by the way. That one's kind of speckled. 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. So that's a new record. I hate to say it with just one day of testing, but 26 eggs. 26 eggs is a new record. That's the highest I've ever gotten. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any. Man, that's excellent. 26 eggs. And they'll probably come in here and they'll lay maybe 2 or 3 more this afternoon. That would put me at 27. That put me at 28 eggs for 30 chickens. That's awesome. In the middle of winter, rainy sky. You can't beat it, man. And I'll tell you what. Is that just absolutely gorgeous or what? What a beautiful morning.